How to Day Trade for a Living by Andrew Aziz. Picture this moment. You're young, full of ambition, and you've just placed your very first trade in the stock market. 1,000 shares of some little-known company at $4 each. Your palms are sweating, heart hammering against your ribs, but something inside whispers that this might just work out. And then magic happens. Within minutes, the stock price takes off like a rocket. $5, $7, $10. You're staring at the screen, barely breathing. Your finger hovers over the sell button, you click, and suddenly you're $6,000 richer. $6,000 in less time than it takes to brew your morning coffee. You sink back into your chair, this ridiculous grin spreading across your face. A single thought echoes in your mind. I've cracked the code. This is ridiculously easy. This was Andrew Aziz's baptism by fire. His very first real trade turned into a spectacular win. In that intoxicating moment, he felt like he'd discovered a hidden cheat code to life itself, a personal money-printing machine. And right there, in that flush of beginner's luck, he learned what might be the most dangerous lesson any new trader can absorb: the seductive illusion that trading is easy. Here's where the real story begins. Over the following weeks, riding high on his newfound swagger, Andrew systematically lost every penny of that $6,000, and then some. One careless mistake after another. It stung. It humbled him. But looking back, it became the most valuable tuition he ever paid, because it revealed the fundamental truth at the heart of his book, How to Day Trade for a Living. The truth? Day trading isn't winning the lottery. It's not some magical shortcut to wealth. And it's definitely, absolutely not easy. It's a profession. A demanding, intellectually rigorous profession that requires the same commitment as becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. But here's the beautiful part. If you're genuinely willing to put in the work, master the craft, and build ironclad discipline, trading offers something precious few careers can deliver: absolute freedom. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this fascinating world. We'll walk the path Andrew Aziz maps out, a path that's transformed countless people from reckless gamblers into profitable professionals. By the time we're done, you'll understand the mindset, the tools, and the strategies that separate the tiny fraction of traders who thrive from the overwhelming majority who crash and burn. You'll discover this isn't about gambling at all. It's about building a real business, one smart, calculated decision at a time. This is your beginner's roadmap to financial independence, and we're starting right now. Let's tackle the obvious question first. Why would anyone choose to become a day trader? If it's genuinely this challenging, what's the draw? Andrew Aziz is crystal clear on this point. The appeal isn't purely about stacking cash. It's about designing your life. Imagine waking up as your own boss, working from home, investing just a few focused hours each morning, taking a day off whenever you choose, answering to nobody, spending your afternoons with family, diving into hobbies, traveling, actually living. That's the promise of day trading, a career that, once mastered, delivers a level of freedom most people only fantasize about. But here's the twist. The very elements that make day trading so attractive, this incredible freedom, the potential for serious income, are precisely what make it so treacherous. From the outside, it looks deceptively simple. People hear success stories and think, how hard could it be? They dive in, completely unprepared, and become another grim statistic Andrew shares right up front. Financial broker records reveal that after 6 months of trading, only 16% of day traders are actually profitable. That means 84%, the vast majority, are bleeding money. The entire purpose of this book is handing you the map to join that elite 16%. Step 1 on that map requires a fundamental mental shift. You need to stop viewing day trading as a game, a side hobby, or your ticket to instant wealth. Andrew's first ironclad rule: day trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. His second rule flows naturally: day trading is a serious business, and you must treat it as such. Think about it like this. If you wanted to open a restaurant, you wouldn't just lease a space, stock some ingredients, and cross your fingers. You'd craft a business plan. You'd learn to cook, manage staff, handle finances. You'd invest in proper equipment and education. Day trading operates exactly the same way. It's a business you can launch from your bedroom, requiring far less capital than that restaurant, but demanding identical professional discipline. You need a business plan, the right tools, solid education, and crucially, the discipline to execute your plan every single day without exception. Make that mental shift, and you've already taken the most important step on this journey. Once you've accepted this is serious business, you need to understand the battlefield. Who exactly are you up against? When you place a trade, you're not operating in isolation. You're stepping into an arena packed with some of the sharpest, best-equipped minds on the planet. On one side stand the institutional traders, the giants. Wall Street investment banks, massive hedge funds. They're trading with billions of dollars, wielding sophisticated computer programs, often called black boxes, executing thousands of trades per second. This is high-frequency trading, or HFT for short. On the other side, there's you, the individual retail trader, sitting at home with a laptop. Sounds like a hopeless mismatch, right? How could you possibly compete? This is where Andrew introduces a brilliant, empowering analogy: the guerrilla warrior. Guerrilla armies don't challenge traditional armies head-on. They don't march onto an open battlefield for a suicidal frontal assault. Instead, they leverage their unique advantages. They're small, nimble, patient. They hide, wait for the perfect moment, then use lightning-fast hit-and-run tactics. Strike hard, vanish back into the jungle. As a retail trader, this is your blueprint. You possess advantages those massive institutions don't. First, you don't have to trade constantly. Banks and funds must stay in the market continuously, trading enormous volumes. You can sit back patiently, waiting for that perfect setup, offering the highest probability of success. Second, you're incredibly nimble. An institution trying to unload 1 million shares can't do it with a single click. It takes time, and their own massive orders move the market against them. You, trading 100 or 1,000 shares, can slip in and out of a position in a heartbeat. This speed is your superpower. Your strategy isn't outsmarting supercomputers or defeating banks at their own game. It's finding small pockets of the market where they can't touch you. The financial jungle where you, the guerrilla trader, can operate with deadly efficiency. This brings us to one of the book's most critical concepts: stocks in play. The vast majority of stocks on any given day simply drift with the overall market. If the S&P 500 rises, they probably rise. If it falls, they probably fall. These stocks are dominated by institutions and their algorithms. Trading them is like fighting that big army on an open field, suicide. But every single day, a small handful of stocks move for their own unique reasons. They have a compelling story, a fundamental catalyst. Maybe the company announced shockingly good earnings. Perhaps they secured FDA approval for a breakthrough drug. Or maybe bad news dropped, and the stock is plummeting. These are your stocks in play. These stocks attract floods of attention from retail traders just like you. When thousands of retail traders laser focus on the same stock, our combined volume can actually overpower those algorithms. We create our own momentum. This is your playground. This is where simple, predictable strategies flourish. Because we're all watching for identical patterns, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Andrew's fourth rule: always ask yourself, is this stock moving because the whole market is moving, or because it has its own unique story? Your job every morning before the opening bell is identifying that handful of stocks with compelling individual narratives. This is the essence of trade the best, leave the rest. Ignore the thousands of other stocks and focus exclusively on the few offering prime opportunities that day. So you've embraced the business owner mindset. You understand your role as a guerrilla warrior, and you know to focus only on stocks in play. Now we need to discuss the rules of engagement, the principles that'll keep you alive long enough to become profitable. The single most important job you have as a day trader, the one thing eclipsing everything else, isn't picking winning stocks. It's not predicting the future. Your actual job is managing risk. Let me repeat that, because it's absolutely foundational. Your only job is managing risk. Successful traders watch their capital as carefully as professional scuba divers monitor their air supply. They know one careless mistake can be fatal. The first rule of risk management is non-negotiable. Never risk more than 2% of your trading account on any single trade. Got a $10,000 account? The absolute maximum you can lose on one trade is $200. $30,000 account? That's $600. This is your survival rule. It ensures that even through a brutal losing streak, you can stay in the game. It allows you to live to trade another day. The second risk management rule concerns which trades you take. You're hunting for what Andrew calls low-risk entries with high potential reward. He insists on a minimum profit-to-loss ratio of 2 to 1. What does that mean practically? For every dollar you're willing to risk, you must have realistic potential to make at least $2. If you enter a trade where you might lose $100 if wrong, you should only take it if you can realistically make $200 or more if right. This creates a mathematical edge. Think about it. Stick to this rule, and you can be wrong more often than right and still profit handsomely. Win just 40% of your trades, but keep your winners twice the size of your losers, and you'll be profitable over the long haul. This completely reframes the goal. It's not about being right all the time. It's about ensuring your wins substantially outweigh your losses. How do you control those losses? By embracing something most people despise: admitting you're wrong, quickly. Emotional trading is the #1 killer of trading careers. Traders enter positions, watch them move against them, and ego takes over. They think it has to bounce back. They hold on desperately, hoping to break even, and a small, manageable loss morphs into something catastrophic. Professional traders, conversely, are exceptionally good losers. They know their line in the sand before entering any trade. This is the stop loss. When price hits that level, there's zero hesitation. They exit immediately, accept the small loss gracefully, and hunt for the next opportunity. Their job isn't being right. Their job is making money, and sometimes the smartest way to make money is simply stopping yourself from losing it. There's another crucial rule separating day trading from every other trading style. Andrew's third rule: day traders never hold positions overnight. This might sound extreme, but it's fundamental to this specific business. The volatile stocks in play that are perfect for day trading are often dangerously risky to hold overnight. News can break after market close, and a stock can open the next morning down 20, 30, even 50%. By closing all positions before the 4 p.m. market close, you eliminate overnight risk completely. You sleep soundly, knowing your capital is safe, and start fresh each morning. If you're stuck in a losing trade at day's end, you sell it and take that loss. Turning a day trade into a hopeful swing trade is among the most common and disastrous beginner mistakes. We've covered mindset and rules. Now let's discuss the toolkit, the practical elements you need to run your trading business. First, you need a reliable broker and a lightning-fast trading platform. Speed is everything. Andrew uses a platform called DAS Trader, renowned for fast execution and supporting something called hotkeys. Hotkeys are keyboard shortcuts you program to send orders instantly, instead of fumbling with a mouse clicking buy or sell. You execute trades with single key combinations. When a stock is moving rapidly, those few seconds can mean the difference between profit and loss. Mastering your hotkeys in a simulator is absolutely non-negotiable for becoming professional. Next, you need a method for finding those stocks in play. Enter the stock scanner, software that filters the entire market in real time based on your criteria. Every morning, Andrew programs his scanner to find stocks meeting specific conditions. They're gapping, up or down at least 2% before market open. They show unusual pre-market trading volume. They have a history of sufficient daily movement to justify trading. And crucially, there's a fundamental catalyst, real news, driving the movement. This process takes thousands of stocks and narrows them to just a handful of high-potential candidates for the day. This is how you locate the battlefield where you hold the advantage. The final, perhaps most important tool in your arsenal is reading the market story. And that story is written in the language of candlesticks. Andrew dedicates an entire chapter to this but keeps it beautifully simple. You don't need to memorize hundreds of complicated patterns with exotic names. You just need to understand the basic psychology each candlestick represents. Imagine each candlestick as a visual battle record between buyers, the bulls, and sellers, the bears, over a specific time frame, like 1 or 5 minutes. A long, hollow, or green candlestick shows buyers firmly in control. They pushed price up from open to close. It signals strength. A long, filled, or red candlestick shows sellers dominating. They drove price down. It signals weakness. Then there are the most fascinating candles, indecision candlesticks, like dojis or hammers. These have small bodies and long wicks or tails. A candle with a long lower wick, a hammer, reveals that during that period, sellers tried pushing price way down, but buyers fought back ferociously and recovered all that ground. The sellers lost this battle. This can powerfully signal a downtrend running out of steam. Learning to read these simple stories gives you a real-time feel for market power dynamics. You're not just staring at squiggly lines. You're becoming a social psychologist, observing collective behavior of thousands of traders. We've covered mindset, risk rules, and tools. Now let's hit the heart of it, the battle plans, the specific, repeatable strategies you'll practice and master. Andrew outlines 9, but we'll focus on core ideas running through the most important ones. First, let's discuss strategies for riding the wave, patterns like the ABCD pattern and bull flag momentum strategy. The underlying psychology is identical. Imagine a stock experiencing a massive, powerful upward move. This is point A to point B, the pole of the flag. Amateurs see this and jump in at the top, chasing the stock. Big mistake. Professionals wait. They know after a big run-up, early buyers will take profits. This causes the stock to pull back or trade sideways. This is point C, the CAFA consolidation period, or the CAFA flag itself. This is the quiet time. But if the stock is genuinely strong, new buyers step in during this dip, price refuses to drop further, it finds a floor, a support level. When you see the stock breaking up from that consolidation, this is point D. That's your low-risk entry. You're catching the next wave up. Your stop loss sits just below the consolidation area. Point C, risk is small and clearly defined, while potential reward is the rally's next leg. Next, we have strategies for betting on exhaustion. The reversal trading strategies. The guiding principle, what goes up must come down, and vice versa. When a stock moves too far, too fast in one direction, it becomes stretched like a rubber band. The traders driving that move become exhausted. This is where you look for reversals. But Andrew warns, never try catching a falling knife. Don't just buy a stock because it's dropped substantially. That's a recipe for disaster. Instead, wait for confirmation. What does that look like? First, an extreme move. You're seeking a stock with at least 5 consecutive red or green candles. Second, look for indecision signs, one of those hammer or doji candlesticks. This signals the battle is turning. Third, wait for the first candle making a new high after a long downtrend, or new low after a long uptrend. This is your confirmation and entry point. Your stop loss sits at the very bottom or top of the reversal. Again, risk is small and clearly defined. Finally, perhaps the book's most important strategy, revolving around the most crucial indicator, VWAP trading. VWAP stands for Volume-Weighted Average Price. Don't let the name intimidate you. It's simple but incredibly powerful. Regular moving averages, just average price. VWAP is smarter. It calculates true average price by factoring in how many shares traded at each price level. Why is this so powerful? Because big institutional traders use it as their benchmark. Their performance is often judged by whether they bought below VWAP or sold above it. This means the VWAP line on your chart acts like a powerful magnet or barrier. The strategy is elegantly simple. When a stock is trending up, it often pulls back to the VWAP line and bounces off it, using it as support. That bounce is a beautiful, low-risk entry to go long. Conversely, if a strong stock breaks below VWAP then tries recovering above it but fails, that rejection powerfully signals to go short. Betting sellers have seized control. VWAP trading is beloved by professionals because it's based on the underlying structure of how big money operates in the market. These are just core strategies. Others, like support and resistance trading, build on the idea that markets remember certain price levels. The opening range breakout involves waiting for initial morning chaos to settle, then trading in the established trend's direction. But the key isn't learning all 9 strategies simultaneously. It's finding 1 or 2 that resonate with you, fitting your personality, then practicing them relentlessly in a simulator until they become second nature. This brings us to the final, most profound part of Andrew's teaching, the path to becoming professional. This isn't about secret indicators or magic formulas. It's about process and discipline. The journey begins with education and simulated trading. Andrew is adamant about this. Never, ever start trading with real money. You must spend at least 3 to 6 months in a realistic simulator, trading fake money, but with real-time market data. This is your flight school, where you practice strategies, master hotkeys, and make all your beginner mistakes without torching your savings. During this time, your goal isn't making $1 million simulated dollars. Your goal is developing a process. You learn morning preparation, building your watch list, identifying key levels, creating if-then trade plans. You write it down. If stock XYZ breaks above VWAP, I'll buy. My stop goes here. my target there. This planning process eliminates emotion. When markets open, you're not reacting frantically, you're executing a pre-written plan. It requires hard work, patience, and above all, discipline. Discipline to wait for your setup, discipline to honor your stop loss, always. Discipline to walk away when you've hit your daily goal or maximum daily loss limit. Andrew also stresses mentorship and community. Trading can feel lonely and emotionally draining. Being part of a community, a chat room of like-minded traders, provides a support system. It lets you ask questions, share ideas, and see that even experienced traders have rough days. It normalizes the process and accelerates learning. Finally, the key tying everything together, reflection and review. At each day's end, you must journal your trades. Screenshot the chart. Write down why you entered, why you exited, what you thought and felt. This isn't optional. It's the most effective learning method from both mistakes and successes. Professional traders obsessively review their performance, knowing that's where real growth happens. The path Andrew lays out isn't easy or quick. He estimates the average person needs 6 to 12 months of dedicated practice to achieve consistent profitability. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but the skills you develop, discipline, emotional control, risk management, process-oriented thinking, will serve you not just in trading, but throughout life. It's a journey of transformation, from a gambler chasing excitement into a business owner executing a well-honed plan. And if you're willing to walk that path, the freedom waiting on the other side is genuinely real. Reflecting on how to day trade for a living, it's obvious this book transcends simply making money in markets. At its core, it's a manual for mastering yourself. Andrew Aziz's most powerful lesson isn't a specific chart pattern or trading strategy. It's the relentless focus on process over outcome, discipline over emotion. In a world constantly selling overnight success and easy wins, this book delivers a refreshing reality check. It tells us that true, sustainable success in any high-performance field isn't born from luck or one brilliant move. It's forged in the daily, unglamorous grind of preparation, execution, and review. It's about showing up every single day and doing the right things, whether you feel like it or not. The idea that your only real job is managing risk is profound. It shifts focus from trying to control the uncontrollable, the market, to controlling the one thing you can, yourself. Your decisions, your position size, your entry and exit points. This is incredibly empowering. It transforms you from a passive participant, hoping for good outcomes, into an active manager of probabilities. What I find most compelling is how these principles extend far beyond the trading screen. Think about it. The discipline to stick to a trading plan when fear or greed is screaming at you is identical to the discipline needed for sticking to a fitness plan when exhausted, or a business plan when facing setbacks. The patience to wait for high-quality trading setups mirrors the patience required to build meaningful careers or lasting relationships. This book powerfully reminds us that skills required for financial freedom are deeply intertwined with skills required for personal growth. So how can you start applying these ideas right now, even if you're not ready to open a trading account? Here are a couple of simple actions you can take today. First, for the next week, just become an observer. You don't need special software. Just open a free charting tool like Yahoo Finance and pick one company making news. Watch its stock chart throughout the day. Don't try trading it. Don't even pretend to. Just watch the story unfold. See the battle between buyers and sellers. Look for moments of strength and weakness. Can you spot any simple patterns we discussed? This simple observation, without pressure to act, will begin training your eye and mind to see markets in a new way. Second, Apply the 2% rule to a different life area. We often don't start new things, a hobby, side project, fitness routine, because perceived risk feels too big. So ask yourself, what would risking only 2% look like? Not 2% of your money, but 2% of your free time this week, or 2% of your creative energy. If you have 10 hours of free time, what could you do with just 12 minutes dedicated to that project you've been postponing? Framing it this way makes the first step feel incredibly small and manageable. It's a powerful way to build momentum in any new endeavor. Ultimately, this book isn't just a career guide. It's an invitation to higher personal accountability. It challenges you to become someone who can operate with logic and discipline, facing uncertainty and emotional pressure. And that's a skill paying dividends for a lifetime, regardless of your chosen path. That was our journey through How to Day Trade for a Living by Andrew Aziz. We've explored core principles today, but I'll be honest, a summary is like looking at a beautiful country's map. The real magic happens when you actually travel there yourself. It's in those quiet reading moments when a particular story or simple phrase connects with you unexpectedly. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book deserves your time and attention. If anything we've discussed today sparked your curiosity or resonated with your ambitions, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about absorbing information. It's an experience that can genuinely transform how you approach not just trading, but any challenge you decide to tackle. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it gave you a fresh perspective, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It lets us know we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.